How's it? My name is Matt Bromley. I'm 22 years old and my life at the moment, I'm a professional surfer. God installs in everyone a passion, and for me that passion is surfing. It all started, I was in Brazil and I got an email from some of the guys at Billabong. You got to get over to Tahiti for this massive contest, the Billabong Pro. And I thought there's no ways this is going to happen, but if it's in God's will to happen, then He can make anything happen. So raced home. 4 days later I'm flying out to Tahiti. I got there at midnight and my heat was the second heat of the morning, the next morning. And I got knocked out of my first heat and I just thought, like, God, why have you led me? It's directly on the other side of the world, so far, and through all this trouble, and I get knocked out in my first heat. The people who live there, the local surfers are saying, 3 days before, they say this is going to be the biggest swell that's ever hit Chopu. Is God calling me to ride a swell like this? What is going to happen? So the day comes and I wake up early in the morning. The government put out a ban on all watercraft, calling it code red, saying no one's allowed to go out into the water, it's just too dangerous. All the best big wave surfers, the big wave specialists from around the world had flown in. They weren't going to abide by the rules. Everyone actually ended up going out to check it out. It was like 4 to 5 story high building waves. It was way above me. There was no ways I was going to get involved. And about midday, I felt this stirring in my spirit and my heart. I opened up the scriptures and it was titled Faith. And I read on, it was kind of everything that people wouldn't have achieved unless they had stepped out in faith. I went out onto the jetty and there was a jet ski coming back from Chopu and its path was leading in the opposite direction past the jetty. And I said, God, if you want me to ride one of these waves, have this guy do a U-turn and take me out to the break. And sure enough, I watched this guy come past the jetty and he just did a full-on U-turn and ended up giving me a lift out to the wave. In that moment, I should have been absolutely terrified, but I had this incredible peace and I just felt like I was in the will of God right there. All my life experience, all my faith was just happening right here. And this was where God had wanted me to be in that time. We waited for the right wave and the guy said, "You ready?" He pulled me up and he towed me into this wave that was just definitely one of the best rides of my life. Absolutely unbelievable. I rode a wave on the day that changed surfing history. Who would think that following God as obediently as I could would lead me to so much excitement and adventure and peace? But that's what I have discovered. To make Christ your King does not lead to a boring, predictable life, but very often just the opposite. As for me, the perfect ride is not surfing some ocean wave, but to follow His plan for my life. And for the next season, I believe He is calling me to surf the planet's hairiest waves. Oh well, I suppose for me at least, that's where the peace that passes all understanding is found.